Alright guys, difference of squares. Now, the thing to remember about difference of squares is it's still the same as factoring. It's just a normal trinomial that's being factored, but now we just have a binomial. Okay, now, along with that, if you were to take this, it's still a quadratic, right? If you were to take that and put it into the two sets of parentheses, right? If I can find two things that multiply to give me x squared, which is x and x, and two numbers that multiply together to give me -5, +5 and -5, if I check that, you'll notice that it's plus 5x and minus 5x, which when you put that together gives you a total of 0x, which is why you don't have that second term in your trinomial. So you could do it that way. But what I want you to do is recognize in these situations, if you have a subtraction, now this only works for subtraction, this is the difference of squares. If you have a subtraction, look at the first term. See if everything in the first term is something being squared. In this case, it's x being squared. Look at the second term. See if that is also a square number, which is, of course, 5 squared. Now, there's a shortcut rule that says when you have a situation where you have a whole bunch of stuff squared, or one thing squared, minus a bunch of other things squared, or one other thing squared, that ends up giving you a plus b, a minus b. So if you can take that first term and that second term and rewrite it as things squared, you can always rewrite it in this format. Okay, so let's try that as we look at the next 6 questions here. So let's look at this one. The first thing we should do is look for a common factor. 49 and 4, nothing common. X and Y, nothing common. So, oh well, let's look at to see if this is difference of squares. And so I look at the first term, that's 49. That's 7 squared. I look at this one, so that's x squared. I look at this one, that's 2 squared. And I look at the y to the 4th. Now that one's a little bit harder, but if you recognize that y squared times y squared, remember when you multiply, you add the exponents. So this is y squared times y squared, which is y to the 4th, which means that y to the 4th is actually y squared times itself, or y squared squared. And so at this point, the first term, we had an exponent rule that allowed us, when we had something like this, xy squared, to turn it into x squared and y squared. And so it should make sense that I should be able to go from this point back into that direction. So let's do it. We'll go back and we'll write it as 7x squared. And then I've still got that minus. And then this is 2y squared. And so now I have this situation where I have a squared minus b squared. And so it's a, oops, I was thinking a plus b times a minus b. And if you were to FOIL this out, you would find that you would get the same thing, because the plus and the minus would cancel themselves out in the middle. All right, so again, we're looking for things being squared, and if everything is being squared, we can split it up to the 7x and the 2y squared. Let's go ahead and look at number 3. Anything common? Well, 16 is 4 and 4 and 2 and 8. 81 is 9 and 9 and 3 and 27. So I don't see anything common. So let's just go straight into it. I do notice it's a difference. So let's see if it squares. 16 is 4 squared. X squared, of course, is x squared. And 81 is 9 squared. So I do have this a squared minus b squared situation. So I can write a, which is 4x, plus b, right? Now b is 9, and then a minus b. All right? Now, if you were to FOIL this out, just like I said in previous versions, I'll go ahead and show you this one. 4x times 4x is 16x squared. 4x times negative 9 is negative 36x. 9 times 4x is plus 36x. And 9 times negative 9 is negative 81. These two in the middle cancel each other out, which leaves us with the 16x squared minus 81. This is the answer. All right, so hopefully you're getting the idea. Let's just do the last three really quickly. So again, we're looking for something squared. Anything common first? No, not really. So we'll go 8 squared x squared minus 25 is 5 squared y squared. So my A is 8x and my B is 5y. So 8x plus 5y, 8x minus 5y. Ain't that easy? Yes, so yes, Mr. Bywater, that's easy. I like that one. Most of you right now didn't like this one, but now you're going to like it because that's easy. Yes, it is. All right, so here we go. Let's look at another one. X squared is x squared. 1 is 1 squared. So we put those two together. We go x plus 1, x minus 1. So just a reminder, remember that this only works if it's a minus. It doesn't work if it's a plus, because if it's a plus, you're going to end up not being able to get a plus at the end. So please be careful. Don't use it when there's a plus. All right, last one. 4 is 2 squared, and then, of course, the x squared. And then 121 is 11 squared. Now, if you didn't know that, you should recognize that this first thing is something squared, and so you should try to figure out what squared equals 121. So definitely has to be higher than 10, because 10 times 10 is 100. So then we would try 11 times 11. 11 times 11 is 121. So we can go 2x plus 11 and 2x minus 11. There you go. Box all our answers, because that's what we do. That's how we roll. And we're done. Cheers.